So I wonder how many days this will do. Do things come in threes, they say? We've had the difficult Amstrad, the difficult realistic TRC 1005. So is this going to be a troublesome York 863? Because reading the customer's letter, it does sound like a bit of bother. This gentleman, oh yes, he says the screws are the kind you'd find in a computer. So that's something which we'll get rid of. Oh dear, and they're self-tappers, so oh dear, oh dear. That means chances are that the threads are now all wrecked to put the M3 machine screws back in. All we can really do is kind of bash these with a hammer, obviously in a vise with a piece of metal underneath, and then re-thread them M3 in the hope. But this can make all the difference to the value of a set. So you think, oh, it's been in a smoking household, I can tell that. He wonders if it's had an illegal mod and then that removed. I don't know. I can't see that because the soldering on the synthesizer has been there donkey's years. There certainly has been some soldering. Where's my glass? Where's my other glasses? Yeah, it's been messed with good and proper. So we'll certainly be cleaning up with the isopropyl alcohol. So let's see what it says in his letter. So this gentleman is a small dealer who sends sets in and does first line repairs himself. So he's got a DNT in the box, but this came out first. Sorry to state before cleaning, after removing the screws, it looks like it's had work done on it. Microphone was so dirty, put it in the bin. Extension speaker socket's been changed. Yeah, that's as long as that works, we're all right. Screws for the cover, protection diode he's replaced. He has. Good. So it's come with the correct power lead, but we'll check for correct fuse. That's fine, that's 2 amp. Anything around 2 to 3 amps is absolutely fine. What you don't want to find in there is a hair grip or 25 amp car fuse. It's lit up. So we'll get through this plethora of knobs. Squelch to minimum, RF gain to maximum, DIN number to maximum, light gain to maximum, tone to medium, that to normal, channel 9 off, that to normal, that to center. Good. We should have a standard coffin mic. plug it into our instrument speaker. You know what, if I didn't do any CB jobs for about 5 days, I could probably tidy the bench instead. There we go. And we can hear it hissing. So I'm going to switch on picture in picture, which is coming up on the screen. I'm going to key up, and we've got 3.1 watts out of it. Good grief, that's a bit off, isn't it? Oh, it's on channel 30, that's what. Put it on channel 20, it might help. 2779125. Right, we'll pop that up. We'll do that right now. That's the red trimmer there. I'm just going to twazzle that round a bit. There's a good word. It's clearly got nicotined at some time. So now it's just marginally high. Leave that's very slightly high. It's got to drop down naturally with age. So we'll pop this now on channel 40. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll write down the results. I think viewers like writing down the results. We'll write down the results. And if I can find a pen, there we go. York 863 TX is 3.1 watt, frequency 2779071, 2779125. We've got it 8, so done that. So with the frequency on the signal generator, which helps if we're on the right channel. So switch the cyanide meter on. To be honest, it's sounding like it's on the verge of lock. When I go from transmit to receive, it takes as much time as a modern radio, which isn't what you expect on one of these. So it's doing 0.3 microvolts. Good, so that's where we are. That's fine. So we'll start with the VCO. So it sounds like there's nothing wrong with the set, it's just needing a bit of a tune-up. something dry jointy on the channel selector switch. Certainly affecting receive. Okay, so we'll put the negative prod on the power supply because we know the chassis is floating on these. We'll select channel 40 and we should have 4 volts ish. So we have 4 volts on channel 40. It's going to transmit. That's just fractionally high, so we'll deal with that. And that's the trimmer, because the receive is the coil there. Transmit is the trimmer there. That's receive. That's transmit. So go to channel 1. Check it's in lock. Manual says 1.8 to 2.5. We've got 2.23. We've got 2.38. So that's sort of data. He's probably done that and it's slipped in transit. It'll slip back as well when I send it back to him. So that's that done. So I'll select channel 20 again. We'll go back to the normal meter on there. So we're beyond the 3 watt range. Funnily enough, putting it on frequency and doing the VCO, we've now got it at 3.2 watts. Now the reason, one of the things about crystals is that they're obviously manufactured to be at a particular frequency, and their output is at its greatest on that frequency. That's just a point. That can matter on crystal controlled equipment, but this isn't. I don't know why I'm telling you that. So maximum, maximum, maximum. We're now at 3.4 watts. Then with the green tool, broken. Oh, they're different typing. Fair enough. Well, maximum. That's the wrong type. It's just going round and round. So we've actually only got one which is any good. So I'm going to have to unsolder the other coils. We're going to have to see if we've got a scrap set. So I'll pause the video. Now somebody sent me some scrap AM illegal radio boards, and we've got 2 in this, so it's clearly Cybernet. Some set with an SWR meter, so that's useful, and David knows who he is, so thank you very much. That helps somebody out. So we're going to record the end of the video again, because the bit you've just watched, the last minute, had no sound, and neither did the rest of the video because I forgot to press one of the buttons on the mixer. So where we'd got to is I was putting the transmitter 2 coils back with new cores in. We finished off aligning the transmitter. At its peak it achieved 5 watts, and then we dropped it down to 4 in the usual method with the service manual to get it balanced between all 40 channels. Did the deviation, set the meter, and transmit was finished. On receive, the receive was virtually spot on. I went through the receive in the normal way with the synod meter, touched up the squelch, meter banged across at plus 30, adjusted that to S9, and that brought us to finishing the set off. Went in the organ workshop, not with the camera, and we just did a bit of metal bashing to try and make the holes for the screws a little bit smaller, and then with the tapping tool went through them for M3, and we've improved it and been able to put M3 screws in. Now I'm not going to over tighten the speaker lid screws because it's pretty weak. So that brings us to, I'm going to do this a topsy-turvy way round. Because I've got this connected to the aerial, I'm going to just run through the channels with you. $19.90 Roger. There's actually a bit of a lift on, but as ever they're talking on 19. He's off frequency. So that's as far as that goes. So we'll pop the aerial out and plug it back into the test equipment. And then I can show you the power it's doing. Right, so switch on picture in picture. So if I press transmit, we've got a full 4 watts. Low power, it's there somewhere, it's there. Got 0.4 watts. Deviation, wallow, 1 2 1 2, testing 1 2 1 2, wallow. Got the deviation there. And then on receive. So on receive, let's go put this onto the synod meter and plug the meter into the radio. So for 12 decibels, now go down to the attenuator, run 0.3 and 0.22. So it's 0.22 this evening. It was 0.25 when I tested it earlier. So there we are, we've got a good set. You'll see we've got a bit of a lift on today. I've already done the on the air test with this, and we had a bit of a struggle around Grayleys because of interference. I could certainly hear Irish voices coming in earlier on. So you can tell when it's lifted the way it comes in and out. So there you are, York JCB863, not too extensive. Basically retuning, testing those 2 cores changing, and just bring it up. So that's it. Thanks for watching.